This is a digital Chronobell 1, the very first electronic device that we manufactured. It was fairly simple. We still do repair them. There's not a lot that can be done to them. These things ran a tape player. Other versions would run, depending on software, would operate what's called an NPR1, which looks like this. When I get these in for repair, generally we're replacing the Dallas chip, updating the software, and I replace the AA batteries with a button battery, a CR2032. This is the Bell connection. It goes to the Bell cabinet. This is where a remote would go. This is where a console control would go if it had an NPR. And these two are for tape players. And it did run 2 tape players at one time. The earlier version, prior to this, when I get them in, we'll have 2 batteries, excuse me, 2 batteries such as this. These are the Bell driver chips. These are what take the 5-volt logic and allow it to switch 24 volts for the bells. And of course the fuses. 5-volt power supply plugs into here. The 24-volt plugs into here. Top and bottom pin are your AC24. The 2 middle pins are the control for turning on and off the relay for the box. This is the box. These 2 outlets are hot. These 2 outlets are switched. This is where the amplifier is typically plugged into. The player would be plugged into here, and the 5 volts power supply into here. That's our brake bell. The very earliest version had a trimmer for adjusting the voltage that was on the board. I believe it was the voltage. Had 3 batteries. Now the purpose of the AA batteries was that the very earliest model had volatile memory on it, and so the batteries would keep the memory plus keep the clock running, not the clock itself, but keep the timekeeping chip, which is an Oki chip that was found in the earlier computers. In the later model, we went to a non-volatile memory. And as you can see, this is pretty big. And the reason it's big is because it has the battery built into it. And according to Dallas Maxim, the battery is supposed to be good for 10 years. And so that means that if you put data in it, pull the chip out, put it on a shelf, and come back 10 years later, the data should still be there. I see these actually lasting almost 20 years, and I will change them out when the date code reaches 15 years. The date code is the bottom line, the first 2 digits, the year. The other 3, don't worry about. That's an indication of their internal, of I guess, a month, week, day, whatever. And that's pretty much it for the back side of this. Now, the Bell cable, as I said, is plugged into here for the tone generator. Tone generators can come in different varieties. You can have 3 notes, 5 notes, or 7 notes. This is a 7-note generator. It has 11 bars. There's 3 bars for the lowest note. I'm sorry, not 11, it has 15. So there's two bars for each note, except for the lowest note gets 3 bars, and that's, of course, the lowest strike bow. To play it manually, press the manual button once, and you hear the relay in the 2A, 2H box. And 2A stands for 2 amp and 2 hot. And of course, you got the manual light is on. When the manual light is on steady, this unit will go back to automatic after about 15 minutes. The manual button is blinking. It will stay in manual forever. Press auto to get out of it. Once you're in manual mode, oh, this button's dirty. Yeah, so these buttons, I haven't checked them, but they're obviously dirty, so they're not outputting anything. And that's about it for this. I will try to do a video for programming and other things with this device.